तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। ओम साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ओम जयंती मंगलकाली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शुभदात्री स्वाहा स्वादा नमोस्तुते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Sairam Lyn, Sairam from Malaysia.
Sairam Sharma, Sairam from New Zealand. Thank you, Swami, for giving Sharma and I this opportunity to continue our talk on what happens after death, or on the question of being reborn, rebirth. And we welcome our listeners. We have had quite a bit of interest in this topic, and so I will expand upon it in part 2 on the question of being reborn. Now, there are several incidents recorded by Mr. Kasturi, Professor Kasturi, of Swami giving darshan in the evening to an unseen crowd. This was in the early days of the second mandir had not long been constructed, and Kasturi's office was next door to it. And he observed Swami coming out onto the veranda, or onto the balcony rather, between the silver doors in the evening, and appeared to be gesturing to what amounted to nobody was there. And Kasturi said, Swami, why are you coming out every night? Darshan was over, in the afternoon. What are you doing out on the veranda every night like this? Not the veranda, the balcony. And Swami said, I am giving darshan to unseen beings. They are all begging me for a chance at another birth. And Kasturi was saying, Swami, I can't see anything. And Swami waved his hand and said, look. And suddenly the compound was filled with all manner of beings who were pleading with their hands folded in front of them, pleading with Swami for another chance at birth. This was such a shock to poor Kasturi, he fainted away. But he did record it, and there were several other incidents where Swami spoke of this, that his ears are constantly filled with the prayers of souls who have passed from their physical body and are yearning for another chance at rebirth. When I was on staff in the ashram, I got to know one of the senior residents in the ashram. And I was in the habit of occasionally meeting, this devotee would invite me for like a small chat, or to give me some spiritual wisdom. This devotee had many interviews with Swami and a great deal of interaction with him, as this devotee was a senior member on one of the ashram trusts. And at one stage I asked this devotee, may I call in after dinner? I have a question. And this devotee said, no, please do not disturb me after 6 o'clock in the evening. You will notice by then my curtains are closed, because you could see this devotee's room. This person lived in one of the roundhouses. You will be able to see that my lights are out and the curtains are closed. And I said, oh, I didn't realize that you went to rest so early. No, said this devotee. I am working with the souls of unseen beings who desire rebirth. Now, this might sound way out there, but I can tell you that the ashram was filled with many what I would call senior beings. They may have looked just like sevadals or staff members, but they were, in fact, highly evolved spiritual beings who were there helping Swami. And indeed, Swami had said that all of the residents of the ashram were from the realm of Vaikuntha, the realm or loka of Lord Vishnu. So anything was possible. And I learned quite early on in the piece never to just say, oh, that's just so-and-so. No. Just as with Mademoiselle, these souls tend to hide their true identity and pass themselves off as ordinary human beings. They are not. They are Swami's workhorses, we might say. So this devotee described to me several kinds of situations with unborn souls who were longing to be reborn. Then the devotee asked me, would you like to learn how to work with them? And I said, no, thank you. This is way out of my realm. I wouldn't even know what to say to someone who was begging for rebirth, because you would have to have some knowledge of their past lives, and you would have to be working in tandem with Swami. And this was totally possible because Swami could appear in his transmigrational form, in his subtle form in ashram rooms. It happens quite often in the ashram, but of course people will not speak about it. But it happened at ashram is a very, very powerful place. And indeed, if I might digress just shortly, there was just shortly after Mahasamadhi, April 24th, 2011, a group of children from one of the Balvikas classes in the north of India had been planning a pilgrimage to the ashram. And once they got to Bangalore, they had received word that Swami had passed away, but they were not going to give up their pilgrimage. And Swami himself appeared in their hotel room, asked after their food, had they had good food, that he had enjoyed their bhajans. And the children were absolutely elated, as were their teachers. He then informed the children that he would see them in Prashanti Nilayam, and indeed, the children again witnessed Swami's form appearing to them in their ashram room. And so for Swami, anything is possible. And this is what I'm saying. The miracles that happen within those ashram walls have to be seen to believe. And so I did not doubt that certain devotees could be working with unborn souls. So it is clear to me that many, many, many beings may not have earned a quick reincarnation. They are begging and praying that they may be born again to learn the lessons that they have not learned before. Indeed, Swami has himself said that a soul, once it has achieved liberation, and that is freedom from the cycle of birth and death, they may either stay in the spiritual realms, or if they choose to return to earth to further spread God's message and God's love, they have that choice of doing so. And I believe that many great souls came down with Swami, and many great souls will come down with Pramasai. They are there as his workhorses. They are his number one disciples, number one ministers, number one chair people, all these things he called Mata Betty and other great souls who have served him in the past. So rebirth is all a question of service to the Lord and realizing who you really are. Swami also said that this chance, this life, is the greatest good chance. Simply by doing namasmarana, you can escape the cycle of birth and death. He said he's in this Kali Yuga, it's so easy. He said that is why one of the reasons he came, to show us the path inwards, the path to the This is one of the reasons Swami has come, to lead us back to our true selves, that we may realize how easy it is in this age, in this lifetime, to escape the cycle of birth and death. Namasmarana, he has said it over and over again, saying the name of the Lord. In these times, this Kali Yuga, the blessing of this Kali Yuga is that we can escape it by practicing and saying the name of the Lord. It can be Om Sai Ram. It can be Om Shri Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai. It can be the name of any God. It can be Om Namah Shivaya. It cannot be, oh, my dear Lord Jesus Christ. Whatever comes to you as your dearest form. Understand, Swami explained that we, walking the earth today, had to go through 100,000 lifetimes before we could even have the grace of hearing his name spoken, of seeing his picture, of having his darshan, of even hearing the words Sai Ram. How powerful is this? How profound of spiritual knowledge is this, that our divine Lord would choose to come in 3 avatars, 3 incarnations to rescue us from the circle of life and death. Om Shri Sai Ram. May his blessings guide you. May his blessings turn you into that divine and exquisite spirit that he is waiting to welcome in the realm of Sai Loka. Om Shri Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Tasmat Karunya Bhavena Raksha Raksha Sai Ishvara. Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Sai Ishvara Arpanamastu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.